What's going on, ladies and gents? Before we start the video, remember the support program is still going on for the next 4 days for this season. If you are looking to get yourself codes, guys, make sure you do support. I'll be sending out codes as much as I possibly can. And remember, my top supporter will get $100. My top 100 is eligible for a $100 gift card when they apply to the Discord and go for the giveaway. And then lastly, every supporter is eligible to win a $50 gift card every season. So guys, there is no code king. All right, there's just codes. We give out the same thing, and I give them out just as often. So remember to support your boy. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's get on with the video. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another solo leveling Arise video. All right, guys, we're going to be doing a special video here, an updated SJW support list. The best supports in the game categorized by what they're meant to do, whether it's buffing, debuffing, damage, debuff removal, on you specifically, and break. We're going to give you guys the top units in the game you should be using for every single one of those categories, and of course you can mix and match. So let's start off with the most popular category of them all, and that is going to be buffing. Who are the best buffers in the game for SJW? We're going to go through each one. I'm actually going to show you some gameplay of these ones, and we're going to start off with the #1 buffer in the game for Miss Funbags herself, the beauty mark that is the best of all beauty marks in the world, Isla. So what makes her so damn unique with her support is she gives SJW a lot of different things. #1, she has a debuff zone removal. So when there is fire, poison, whatever you see on the ground, she will instantly remove that for you, just like Libora does, right? And #2, she also recovers HP based on her defense. And then #3, she does give you a random buff. And this is pretty incredible. Those buffs are actually amazing. So let's go into the game. I'm going to show you guys how it works. Now, at a certain point, you're going to end up getting all those buffs, but let's just show you here where I'm talking about. Right here, look, if you do this, see elemental weakness damage increase. Now look at that. Because I have A3 version and above, she gives the strength, the magician, and the wheel of fortune, and the star, and damage increase all in one. This, oh, so not damage increase. Damage increase doesn't come from her, but these other 4 here do. Now let's go back for a second and talk a little bit about what each one does. These are the best buffs in the game you can find from one unit, period. All right, so let's go in here. I'll show you guys her support skill, and here it is right here, right? So she does the debuff zone removal. She activates the star. When the user uses the skill, it applies either the strength, the magician, or the wheel of fortune. In this case, we have all of them because we have A3 and above, and that's what you want to aim for. So the star instantly recovers HP, removes debuffs from the entire team. We have all debuff like section. I had to put her on her own because she's so damn good. The strength gives you user damage increase by 12%. The shield is 12%, and then lastly, the wheel of fortune gives you guys crit rate and crit hit damage by 12%. So you guys see here, quite a bit is happening from this unit, right? And it's incredible what she provides you, and she's hands down the best unit in my opinion for buffing in the game. The reason why you also saw the damage increase, by the way, was because of this right here, because she's got the Guardian set, because she gave a shield, she instantly gave SJW his damage increase as well. So that right there covers that one. All right, this is the #1 support buffer in the game. Let's talk about #2. All right, Maylin. Maylin, by far, one of the best supports in the game for SJW, all right? And Maylin actually does quite a bit for you. Now, I showed Isla in a battle because I want to show you guys all the buffs that are provided. Maylin's pretty straightforward here, okay? When the skill hits, it removes the shield of the target. So if anybody has a shield, she has the niche of removing a shield. When she also uses the skill, it instantly restores HP to SJW based on Maylin's HP. And then when the user uses the skill, it grants Berry on Pumped Up. Now, Berry on Pumped Up gives 16% attack increase and also decreases the damage SJW takes for 16%. So I'm not going to bother showing this one. I just want to show you guys how it worked. On the other hand, I do want to show you guys the difference between the shields provided by 2 different units. So Thomas here is going to be the main focus here. Now Thomas's sports skill is one of the best ones in the game in my opinion. It gives you a shield based on the amount of defense he has, and then also the actual increase to your critical hit rate and critical hit damage is increased by 10% as well, which is pretty damn bomb. Now look at the differences between the 2 shields. We're going to show you guys this real quick because I do want to emphasize how much better Thomas's shield is than anybody else's in support, and not to mention you get the crit hit and the crit hit damage up as well. So Thomas, in my opinion, 3rd best I would say buffer in the game. So here's Gunhee's shield. You guys see my health right there? There's a little shield on there, right? Now watch this. Look at Thomas's. And not only that, but now we got ourselves that buff as well too, the steel armor buff, right? So this is an incredible buff to have, and Gunhee we'll talk about later. So Thomas for sure is somebody you want to get on your team for buffing. If you have him, he's incredible. All right, next 2 we're going to talk about are Akari and SM Beck. Those 2 are actually really, really good. Specifically, Akari gives you quite a bit. So her support skill is actually really, really good. But SM Beck also provides a pretty decent support skill. So SM Beck actually does an AoE damage, which is nice. And he gives you quick attack beast form, which increases the user's attack by 20%. But it also increases the damage taken by 10%. But that 20% attack should not be ignored. It's huge and it lasts for 15 whole seconds. So it's pretty big. Now, Akari, on the other hand, also gives you quite a bit. So first off, when the skill is used, she applies Brilliance. So this increases the damage dealt by 8%, increases the critical hit rate and the basic skills and ultimate skills by 8%, and then instantly restores HP equal to 8% of her max HP. So really, really good buffers. So those right there, guys, those are your 5 best buffers in the game. All right, now let's move on. Let's move on from buffers to debuffers. Who are the best buffers to debuffers in this game? So right now, Min is probably my favorite debuffer in the game. He's also technically a buffer, but I put him in the debuff category. And I'm going to equally put in Libora. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, so we're going to put Min in here, right there, and then we're going to put Libora in here. Where is she? Right there. All right, now what do they do? So again, Min also provides buffs, but I want to focus on the debuff aspect. So the buff here gives the entire team continuous HP recovery, right? Which is amazing. But what we really want to focus on is punishment. Right here, this increases the damage taken by 15% to the target by 20 whole seconds. All right, and that's really, really big because this is going to last quite some time. And the 15% damage increase, in my opinion, is still one of the best debuffs in the game. Now, Libora has something very similar. Hers, the difference with hers is she has 2 different things. Number 1, she removes debuff zones just like Isla does. Number 2, hers is an AoE versus a single target attack, but Charm only lasts for 15 seconds versus lasting for a whole 20 seconds. But the actual damage for Charm is in fact 15% as well, and they both are stackable. Keep that in mind, okay? So those 2 right there are going to be your best debuffers in terms of number 1 and number 2. Now, number 3, I do love Cha. Cha, I think, is a huge one. A lot of people do use her quite often. She does have target unrecoverable with using unrecoverable ability for 30 whole seconds, which is actually pretty good for a lot of bosses. And then her brand is where it really hits home. It increases the critical hit rate and the critical hit damage by 12% to the target using this skill. Now, the beauty of this, right, versus like Thomas's only buffs SJW. This actually puts the debuff on the target, so which means if you're using group fights, everybody gets that debuff on the target, so everybody has this effect applied. So Cha is one of the best ones, in my opinion, in the game. Next up, 1 and 2. It's up to you how you want to rate these guys. I'd say Beck, which provides you guys a break. So I don't put him in the break category only because his debuff is so damn good, which is 20% defense down. Or you can use Choi, which I think is a little bit better. You get a little bit of fire damage along the way for 15 seconds, so a nice dot, and then also decreases the target defense by 15%. Just keep in mind, these do not stack with each other, nor do they stack with Shadow Step, okay? So just keep that in mind when you are doing either or of those. So those are your best, in my opinion, debuffers in the game by far, all right? When it comes down to overall damage, we're talking about just raw damage. Kanae is number 1. Kanae gives you 4,561 at level 17, and then the second up is going to be her student, Mirai. Mirai gives you guys a similar amount, a little less. At 18, you guys can see is 4,336, is a little bit lower, but she does have the knockdown skill, while Kanae over here has the knockdown skill as well. So there you guys go. Both of them extremely high damage, and these 2 are pretty much going to be used if you're looking to just raw damage something, raw dog something. You know what I mean? That's right, I said that. All right, next up. Let's just go through debuff removal. So Isla, of course, falls in that category. You can definitely use her to do that as long as with her buffs as well. But there are 2 other units that will also help. First one is Alicia, which will give you a shield and then also remove the debuffs on you, and then also has a chance to freeze the opponent. And then the second one here is going to be Park Heejin. That's right, we're talking about an SR. Where is she? There she is right there. She actually does something else as well too. She does remove the debuffs, but also gives you breeze, which will increase your ultimate damage by 15%. Okay, so those are your debuff removal units. And again, Isla, I'll put in there. Again, she's the best buffer in general, but she can also fall into that category. And then the last category, guys, realistically, we're going to focus on is breaking. Okay, now, if this works properly, whenever it decides to work properly, this will be the best. I think it does work. A lot of people saying it doesn't, though. But, I mean, we'll have to do some more testing, and hopefully Netmarble can address this. But Goto right now, in my opinion, has the best break skill in the game. When the user successfully puts an enemy in the break state, it increases the duration of the break by 3 seconds, and this duration is infinite, obviously. So that's obviously incorrect. The 3 seconds part is correct. Invincible King's Path increases the damage dealt to the target by 100%. I actually have not tested this. So I don't know if this works, but from a paper perspective, this is by far the best break in the game for sure. For sure. All right, when it comes down to support. Second, I'm going to put Essel next. And the reason why is because Essel has a AoE break, which is nice. And then also when the target does go into the break state, it increases the target's fire damage taken plus the target's damage taken by 8% for 60 whole seconds. So really, really powerful. Very, very good to use. Not the greatest break, but overall a really good debuff along with the break. All right, next up we're going to put is going to be Gun-Hee. Gun-Hee's break is actually a medium break as well. This increases the user's defense by 10%, but also gains a shield, and then also increases SJW's, equal to 10% of SJW's defense, but also gives the users light damage increase by 10%. Okay, so this is actually a really good one. And then Woo as well too. Woo's phenomenal. I think he's the most fail-safe one out of all of them because it increases your total number of dashes by 2 instances for 20 whole seconds. So I think this is a massive, massive one. None of these guys here have Almighty Break. None of these guys have a heavy break. So we're going to put one honorable mention in here, and that is going to be Kim Sang-Shik, and he is going to be used mostly for BOT. And only reason why is because he's the only unit in the game that actually has a support that gives you a heavy break. That's right. And SR has heavy break. And remember, SRs and BOT have the same stat pattern now. They've updated them to be as good as SSR. So there's definitely good usage there. All right, guys, that there completes your entire list. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. I would love to answer them. Put them in the comment section. Don't forget, guys, as well, like, subscribe, hit that notification. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.